Okay, let's review a little bit of the nuts and bolts of what's going on with all of the Affinity clients and the services, and talk a little bit about what our goals are and what our short-range things that we want to do between now and the next time that we really do any training on this in the renewals. Quick update on the Affinity business. It's good. Why is it good? Because it's growing. It's growing during a time when a lot of things were not growing. The market's heating up a little bit now, but in good times and bad times, this thing has been humming and really helped us quite a bit. You can see the amount of nationwide the customers receive, the referrals, the actual closings, things that are going on. The growth there does not represent what's happening in the real estate market. It's been an engine to our company. I think it's been an engine to many of your business plans. It's been a very good thing for us to be a part of. Our training used to say that you should really get in touch with a client within 4 hours of the referral. Gone are those days. Gone. And in fact, I read their slide and where it says 30 minutes, gone are those days. That's not the client expectation. I gotta tell you, it's just not. And I think we all have to come to grips with that and realize that. And I want to tell you something. I don't want to scare anybody, but I want to make sure that people understand that there are a couple military markets in the country where USAA has done a pilot, and they've gone ahead and said, you know what? We have 3 brokers in that area that are principal brokers. Let's send the buyer to all 3 and see who calls them first. Now, I think that's a nightmare. I think it's got all kinds of problems, and I'm very thankful that I think they're finding that out as well. But imagine if that was true. How would you have to adopt your business if you knew that the best agent at your competitor who has the Cardis business got the name at the same time you did or a minute before you did? What would you do differently? How long would you wait? If they didn't call you back, how long would you wait? What would your follow-up plan be to them? Would it look any differently? All of us have to challenge ourselves in this world. People want information, they want it now, they want to be connected now, and they think that technology is strong enough, and it is, for us to get back to them quickly. So I challenge everybody, be prepared, read your notes. Certainly there are people who want to be called tonight or tomorrow or on the weekend, but understand that if it doesn't say anything, we have to move up our time frame of when it is that we're getting in touch with people. We talk about our updating, and our company's gotten a lot better over this last year, and we still have room to improve. One thing that's really important to our client, and it's important to us, is that initial contact. The initial contact is, you all get it through ReloSpec. Here's an example of a good one, and it's not a lot of work, and it's not really long, but it tells us the right information, and it's important that you put it there. People often ask me why is this why was I dinged for this? First of all, I hate that word. I don't want anybody to think that we're dinging anybody. Your relationship is between you and your branch leader. If you guys feel comfortable that you're doing a great job with the referrals, you're going to continue to receive those referrals. And certainly conversion is a measurement that's going to be looked at, but really understanding the pipeline, organizing it, making sure that we're doing everything that we can, that there's good notes, that's how you have a really good partnership and relationship. As far as getting a decline, our company is motivated and wants to get a decline if it's possible, because that's good for our numbers. The way we do it is by reading this particular document and the notes that are there. If we see anything in there that gives us reasoning to go back to Cardis and say this wasn't really an opportunity, we're going to make that case for you, and the best of our ability, and we're not making it just for you, we're making it for us. Best of our ability, we're going to try to get that. Can't, we're going to move on, and we're going to get the next customer. I hope that everybody can sort of just, come together and put your faith in us that that's what we're going to do for you. That's what we're motivated to do, and we'll get a decline if we can get one. And other than that, having put really good notes and having your relationship with your branch leader is what you want to really focus on. Who are our Affinity clients? I think you recognize 2. I think there's one up there that you probably have not seen before. I'll give you a little bit of information on that. The Navy Federal Credit Program, important for us to know that we are the largest broker in the country. We receive more Navy Federal Credit business than anybody else in the entire country, and by quite a bit. So we're their largest client, and that's a good thing because they've been growing and they're going to continue to grow. And that's, it's very strong, very recognized name in our area with a lot of branches. Expect that program to continue to grow and to see more and more opportunities as a result of it. Some things that are going on in the Navy Federal Credit world. Most of these things are not really that new to you. One thing that I would say is a focus, and if you haven't been out on the Navy Federal site, just make sure you know their mortgage products. The two areas that I see a lot of people really like Navy Federal for is they have a loan that basically, it's kind of like getting 100% money, and so that's a really nice first-time homebuyer program. They also have a really competitive loan in the jumbo world, and so I see a lot of people looking towards Navy for their jumbo money. Navy has a help desk, and I just left a slide here because we simplify a lot of things for you guys and don't try to make you remember a lot of different email addresses and have a lot of forms. Your questions can always come to RELO@. Particularly for mortgage questions, we will get you to a local loan officer if you need that. We'll get you the national number if you need that, and we'll answer the question ourselves if we can. So it's escalated just like any other mortgages. Just send it to RELO@, with mortgage escalations, Navy Federal Credit Union, and a file number. Names, particular information is really what we need from you, and we'll do our best to help. So the Discover program. Why is the Discover program? What's different? Basically, I think everybody's familiar with who Discover is. They now have Discover Home Loans, which is their mortgage product that they're providing for their customers. So that's an important word. Both Navy Federal and USAA, they both use the word member. It's important to not lump these programs all together. Each of these companies is a very separate company who's highly competitive and is competing against the other. They use Cardis because Cardis has an expertise in delivering this, and their expertise is really you. Cardis has brokers and agents and training and all these things that help deliver this kind of program. If you're Discover, that's really attractive to you. What's not attractive to you is that you're the third small, you're 3 out of 3 instead of 1 out of 3. And so the way that they can get sensitive to that is if we can't remember the name of their program, or that we call their customers members, or confuse the different things. So make sure you read the information sheets when they come in. You should start to see more Discover information coming in. I don't have a ton for you yet. We haven't seen a lot of these referrals yet, but as we do, I'm sure we'll get more training out to you as it comes from Cardis. One thing I can show you is what their advertising looks like and some of the things that they're sending out to their members. Kind of a little bit of what their cashback, concept is. It's very, very similar. It won't be a lot different. Obviously, Discover Home Loans will be the honored source, and we'll help as we see newer ones of these come in. We'll probably make a call to the branch and say, hey, by the way, we just got our first Discover, and here's the latest particulars that we have. I think everybody's familiar with who the Movers Advantage program is. That's USAA, and we've already talked about their mission. Showing this, in most companies, they ask the agents to have a form. That form is called the updated price quote request, and you send that that's your save the deal. We don't do that. We ask you to send an email to RELO@, and we'll fill that form out for you, and we get it to the place where it needs to go. I know that there's been a lot of pressure felt about mortgage. I've sensed in some branches, when I go, there's some anxiety over it. I need to tell you that it's not going away, and in fact, it's only going to get more and more competitive. And this is going to be an absolute requirement of our business. And we owe it to those companies. If you think of the core value and those 25 military officers that came together, they wanted to lean on each other, they wanted service in a certain way, and they wanted savings, and they wanted an organization that created an actual financial dividend. Well, for them, in the Movers Advantage program, the mortgage is the dividend. And so for us to be partners with them, that's something that you just have to step up and say, I'm going to do that. I'm going to honor the source. And you have to be skilled in knowing how to do that. And how do I mean that? I mean, you have to know what you're going to say. When somebody says to you, hey, I've talked to USAA, but can you give me a couple other names? Know what you're going to say. I'd say, hey, I'd be happy to do that for you. Obviously, you had a really good relationship with USAA to have come through that. And my company has one of the top relationships in the country with USAA. In fact, we're one of the largest brokers. Because of that, we've got a local guy here, and I would be happy to put you in touch with some other people, but could we go to him first? Raise your concerns with him, ask him about price quotes and things that you have, and if you don't get the information that you want, then tomorrow I'll get you another name. That's what we're asking for, guys. And, the expectation has to be that you're going to come forward with that information. As soon as you think that somebody may be going somewhere else, let us know. And there's absolutely not one circumstance in which we don't want to know. And they may be getting a $20,000 basement and we can't compete. We still want to have a shot to do that. Most importantly, we want to honor our relationship with USAA and with Navy Federal and with Discover and the people that send us business, and let them know, hey, we're supporting you. And here's your opportunity, and before we do anything, we want to give you the first crack at it. One thing that's really important to remember about the mortgage process that I think causes some issues, and I want to make sure everybody was aware of, is obviously you have to send fax in a fully executed contract to USAA, and I guess the national stat is about 37% of them are not complete, missing signatures, not finished. Make sure your contract is fully executed, but more importantly, the only way to activate that date is for your member to call live and activate that within a business day of that contract being sent. So if it was me, I would fax that contract in, and I would try to make that phone call right there and then with the client if possible. If not, I would be calling and put it on my calendar for the next morning to say, have you made the call yet? And until I had heard a confirmation that they spoke live and confirmed, I wouldn't let that go. It's really brutal when somebody goes 2 weeks before they call USAA and all of a sudden we've missed our closing date. And I just don't want it to happen to anybody. And we save a lot of those situations, but it causes a lot of heartache and pain that could have been avoided. So I'm emphasizing, and I hope everybody understands why. The escalation process is absolutely the same. Obviously, you have access to the mortgage portal, and that's where you should check first. But all escalations come through us. You don't need to know separate, emails and everything else. Send it to reload. Try to keep as much emotion out of it. Think about what is it going to take? What information would somebody need to get this to the end? They need the client's name. They need file numbers, loan numbers. They need the best time to get in touch with them, the best contact number to get in touch with them, and the pertinent information about what's going on and the resolution that's being requested. Send that to us. We will filter through them and we will get them done quickly. Military Family Home Loans. That is a joint venture between USAA and Wells Fargo, and that program is mostly for their FHA. The large majority of loans that go there are FHA loans. So USAA does do FHA. They do it through Military Family Home Loans. It's a joint venture that's not being shipped to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is not the mortgage company. USAA has the majority ownership in Military Family Home Loans. Yes, Wells Fargo processors who had the expertise to do FHA are the ones that are taking it. Occasionally you can have a VA loan go there, particularly when they're in a heavy volume situation. So that's a good new thing that they have, is a place that is familiar with USAA where they can send overflow when they get into that type of situation. One important thing also is, as you're checking the mortgage portal, anything that's with Military Family Home Loans is not going to be in the mortgage portal. So you'll need to send escalations and things to reload. John Carney is still our contact. He calls, and he has a liaison that can get with military family home loans. It probably is just a little bit slower on the escalation side, but in general, actually, that seems to have really been not an issue for us either. They're getting back in a reasonable time. Last thing is, you'll notice, and I've got a handout for you, there is a fax cover sheet that's specific for military family home loans. It's on our relocation website, so if you don't have that, the way that you get to it is from your dashboard. You click on My Relo, and this form is there for you. So if you ever don't have it, you can get it that way. But use this fax cover sheet. If you know it's a military family home loans, don't use the USAA sheet, use this sheet. And send it in because it's a different fax and it's a different place that it's going to. Occasionally, contracts for military family home loans are being sent to a USAA processing center that is on the other side of the country. So to avoid that, let's be diligent about using the form, and that will really help us. The new portal, very excited that we were one of the first companies. I believe there's currently today about 40 companies in the country that have it. New technology always comes with a couple bumps and bruises. The first night they rolled it out, the link didn't work. The second night they rolled it out, I would say about 80% of the agents were able to log on and use it, and it worked pretty well without a whole lot of fanfare. There were definitely some people that had some bumps and bruises, and there's still some people out there that are struggling with it. We'll get you all rolled on. The good side of it is it'll make things a lot easier for us. You don't have to remember loan numbers. If you have your email address and your password, you'll be able to log on and see all of your clients that are currently active within the system. We always put your Century 21 New Millennium address into Broker Center. So when you log in, if you create your password or you create your account, and if you haven't created it yet, you must use your Century 21 New Millennium address. The reason for that is the system looks for that address and says, do I have any agents in Broker Center who have this email address? That's how it's linking to you. So if you put in your AOL address, it's going to find 0 instances. If you put in your Century 21 address, it's going to find everybody. We had a couple of agents who were registered. Changes got made. I'm not sure what happened, but a couple of agents had been switched over to their AOL type accounts. If you're one of those agents and you've created your account as AOL, please reach out to your branch leader. We will filter through and help you get it changed over to Century 21. We need every single person to be on that Century 21 address. It's the only way that we can ensure that when you log on to the portal, you're going to have all of your clients there. This is last, and this is not Cardis's slide, this is my slide. And these are 4 challenges that I laid out for myself, my team, and for you. And it all goes down to valuing our partnerships. And I think there's a couple things that I just challenge myself on. And I notice it on my good days and my bad days. But you've got to believe that everybody's trying to do their best. And that means that we have to believe that the agents of the company are always trying to do their best. And we have to believe that the clients are good people. And while they may do some frustrating things, they're trying to purchase a house, and they're coming to us, and they truly want help. We have to believe that the mortgage processor, who might be brand new and might have made a mistake, is trying to do their best. And you have to leave it at that. I think at that point you decide, I'm going to own my own responsibilities. And I've made this mistake, and I've learned as I've been part of this account that focusing on what others should be doing, particularly when it goes to going up the line, USAA should be doing this, NFCU should be doing that, Cardis should make the following changes. It's wasted time. It's wasted energy. And I don't enjoy my job, and I'm not as productive as when I'm trying to think what other people should be doing, as opposed to thinking about what it is that I can and should be doing right now to make it work. And that doesn't mean that I don't want the feedback and that I don't provide the feedback, but I ask everybody to challenge themselves, and particularly the challenge I lay for myself is to own my own responsibilities. Make sure that I'm doing the things that I'm required to do, and trust in the people around me that they're going to do the same. make the workplace a positive place. This is tough business, and there's so many moving parts to it. There's always something that you can get frustrated at. But I believe that when I come in and I'm positive and I've gone to the gym in the morning and I come in a great frame of mind and I decide that nothing's going to get in my way, I end up a lot happier and I get a lot more done. And so I'm doing that selfishly. But I'm also doing it because there's a lot of other people around me. And it's really not fair to come in and spread doom and gloom on anyone. And if somebody came in and they went to the gym and their sail, is full of wind and they've decided that they're gonna climb the mountain today, I sure don't want to get in their way. And so I challenge everybody that, take a breath, but understand that our partnerships are good ones and that we all have a choice to be part of them. And they're the best that I know in the industry. And I want to be really positive about that. And I believe that if we all did that and made a commitment to that, we'd enjoy it more and we'd all be that little bit much more successful. And the final piece of that is I believe that the use of the word "our" is a lot more important than the use of the word "my." And I read an awful lot of emails in this job, and the word "my" is plastered all over them. And when we're talking about relocation, it's a partnership. USAA Mortgage, Cardis, relocation, the branch leaders, the TCs, the office managers, the agents, everybody has a responsibility and everybody's trying to make a positive thing happen for these clients. And that is most definitely in our situation. And when we start thinking we're not thinking about all those other people. So I challenge everybody to look at their emails and to search their words. And I challenge you to use the word "our" more than "my" and see if that helps in how we develop our partnerships. I think that it will. Our key focus points, and this is our last slide, we just talked about valuing the partnership. I think it all starts and ends right there. If we all see this as a choice to be part of something that's really good for us and that can help us build our business, and we value it and we hold on to it like it's a golden nugget, nobody will ever take us for it, and we will prosper, and we'll just enjoy what we do, and we'll have more success than we can possibly imagine. I challenge us for 100% usage of Save the Deal. Right now, on the loans that don't go with USAA, we do Save the Deal about 42% of the time. Massive increase. Really great job. But there's no reason why we can't do 100% of the time. 100% of the time, when somebody has decided, I'm not going to go with USAA, we can send an email to ReloAt saying, this member, here's where they're going, this is why they're going, and I asked them if USAA could give them a call and try to compete. Or I asked them if NFCU could give them a call and try to compete. So I challenge everybody to do that. I challenge us on our AGR goal. Our AGR goal for this year was 154. Our actual result right now is 60. That's not good enough. And USAA knows it, and Cardis knows it, and I know it, and I think everybody who's sitting out in the rooms knows it too. We're surrounded. It's pretty hard to walk through this community and not bump into a USAA member. And, I've got a lot of work to do. This is my challenge, but I'm taking this challenge very seriously. This is one of my biggest goals for next year. We cannot be this company. We're too good at what we do to be less than 50% of our goal. And I know it, and I think everybody knows it, and I want everybody to take pride in the fact that when we say we're going to do something, we do it, and I want everybody to know that that's going to be a really important goal for us next year. And finally, just looking at our listings, we have an opportunity there. We need to win more often than we do. We keep getting better, but there's a great opportunity there. We put a focus on that this year, and I watched our numbers go up. And I know that nobody ever thought they were doing anything wrong, or it's just getting laser focused in. That speed to getting to a listing is so important. that presentation is so important, and that understanding of whoever it was, particularly in the Affinity world, if it's a USAA customer and we don't, first reference ourselves as being with the USAA Movers Advantage program, we're not thinking. They didn't call Century 21. They didn't call New Millennium, and they didn't call Scott Becker. They called USAA. I'm going to use that while I'm in my rapport building stage. I'm going to make sure that my presentation has a USAA logo in it early on, so that they get that sense of comfortability and they start learning about who Century 21 is, and they start learning about who New Millennium is, and they start learning about who Scott Becker is. And so I challenge everybody to do that, and I challenge us to focus in on our listing conversion. With that, that is our fall update. Wishing everybody well. We have a final video, and happy holidays to anyone that I don't get a chance to see. And great year, guys. Thank you.